Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Tittle Tattle Tarot. It's Georgie. And I thought that the reading that I did on Chad Zerman, I thought, well, it can't get worse than that. It can't possibly get worse than a father shooting his three sons, executing them. How can it possibly get worse? And then I hear about this case and I think, well, it's so horrendous. This is all about Lacey Fletcher. The girl in her 30s. If you see pictures of Lacey Fletcher, most beautiful looking girl, beautiful. But she wasn't seen by neighbours and friends for over 12 years. But this young girl still lived at home with her mum and dad. Her mum and dad were Sheila and Clay. And this all happened in Slaughter, Louisiana. She was born in 1985. Lacey Fletcher, born to Sheila and Clay. Very middle class. If you saw the home, you think, oh, that looks like a nice house, sort of white weatherboarded house sitting on a nice plot. Her parents had good jobs, very respectable. Well, you wouldn't imagine anything amiss with any of this. The last time that Lacey went to the doctor, she was 16. And she was diagnosed with social anxiety, autism, sort of Asperger's, that sort of spectrum. And there was obviously something very wrong, and the doctor said, you need to sort this out, basically. But according to the parents, she didn't want to go into some kind of treatment, so they kept her at home. And basically from about 2007 onwards, she wasn't seen again. This little girl, she was a child at the time. She'd been at school and she'd done fine. And everybody said, oh, she was a really sweet girl. She loved her volleyball. She loved her sports. She had friends and friends would, come over to her house. And everything seemed to be fairly normal. The only thing that they said about her was, she was quite a loner, but she also was quite young for her age. I think when most girls are sort of 14, 15, they're thinking about boys, they're thinking about makeup, going out, they're starting to spread their wings. But no, not Lacey. She was very much a child, liked to watch very, very young Disney films. She was a lot younger in her age than she actually was. I just want to ask the Tarot of the Abyss just some questions about this. What the hell was going on? She went missing from school, basically. She didn't go missing. The parents took her out and decided to homeschool her. And then that's when it all stopped, from that time that she was homeschooled, people just didn't see her. And I guess that, if they asked where she was, they were fobbed off with various things. And, people move on, neighbours move, her friends of her age move on, go to college. And basically everybody forgot about her. Nobody seemed to ask anything more. And all this time, Lacey's at home. Oh my goodness. Now, one of the neighbours said something very interesting to me. Not to me, but that I heard. I heard a gentleman neighbour sort of say, oh, the last time you saw her, she would have been about 16. She was very, very slender, and she was out walking with dumbbells. And I want to find out about this. She's out walking with dumbbells, a very slender girl, out walking, and he specifically remembered that she was out walking with a set of dumbbells. Let's just ask Tarot of the Abyss about this. Young Lacey, before she stopped coming out altogether, she was walking around with dumbbells. Yeah, she was out and about. She was out and about. And I guess she would have been about 15 at the time, something like that. My mind here is telling me she'd been diagnosed with social anxiety, sort of autism, Asperger's, on that sort of spectrum. I am getting a strong feeling here that this young girl had developed anorexia. I got a feeling the parents didn't know how to handle this. Anorexia is very, very difficult for families to handle, very difficult. I've got a feeling that this happened and they didn't know what to do about it. They chose to basically ignore it. And their daughter's not eating, and she became very reclusive, didn't want to go out. At that stage, she was going out when she had the dumbbells. You know, she was out walking around the neighborhood, exercising. This is what made me think, you know, very, very slender girl, young girl, the right sort of age for anorexia, out walking around. This is like, I feel like trying to burn off energy, trying to lose calories through exercising, not eating. This is the parents' bad decisions, not knowing how to handle this. And this is the parents as well, and probably her, Lacey's energy here. A depression. Anorexia can make you very depressed, very anxious. And I speak from what I know. I'm not speaking of a subject I don't know about. So, you know, bear with me on this. This one here, moving around, very active, trying to burn calories. Parents not knowing quite what to do, and the depression around the whole family. Now, this is in the very early stages of this. Do you know, when you have parents that have very high expectations of you and you let them down in a way, it can be very easy for them to suddenly discount you, to suddenly think, oh, she's not what we wanted her to be. And this is what I'm thinking. The parents, you know, tried to get her to eat, tried to get her to go out. And when she wouldn't, it was like, well, stay there and rot then. Have I got that right, Tarot? You know, have I got that right? Was it just like, oh, well, just stay there. There's your commode. There's the room you want to be in. Just stay there and rot. Yeah, this is almost like looking round a door at someone, isn't it? Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is your a lot of words, a lot of hard words, cruel words, bullying tactics. Seven of Swords, this one, looking around the door at someone, what's going on in that room, can't get them out. Look, you've got the knife there. What can I say to try and get this person out? What can I say to try and connect with them? Nothing that you can say. This needed mental intervention. It needed like this young girl to go into a unit and to be looked after properly. She was refusing. And their way of dealing with it was to ignore it, spy on it, look at it, and just let it happen. Just let it happen, let it evolve. You don't want to go out? Fine, you stay there and rot. You don't want to eat? Fine, don't eat. And I think, oh, this sounds dreadful, but the way that the Nazis managed to do everything that they did to the Jews was because they depersonalized them. They no longer thought of them as human. And it seems to me that these parents no longer thought of their daughter as Lacey. She was no longer Lacey to them. She was this child that, you know, had let them down. She wasn't eating. She wasn't going out. It was that total, I can't believe this. I can't believe she's gone like this. Just ignoring her, closing the door on her and let her get on with it. Let her rot. Really? Is that what happened? I mean, this is incredible. This is incredible. This is the cruelty card. The Five of Swords. This person here, he has this, it looks like a butterfly in a jar. And he could choose to be kind or to be cruel. He could choose to open up that jar and let that butterfly fly out. Or look what he has here. He has these five swords. Now, these are little tiny pins of swords. Well, the other thing that he could do is get that butterfly out and pin it down, you know, like they do with these butterflies, beautiful things, and they pin them down. So he has a choice. What's he going to do? They had a choice. They had a choice. They could have got this girl institutionalized. They could have got her the mental help that she needed. She didn't want to go. Well, nobody who's going to go into a mental institution wants to go, but that is your job as, a guardian to do what's best for them. You sort out this situation. The cruelty that they used was, I believe, get on with it. You don't want to eat. I don't care. You don't want to eat. You don't want to go out. I'm closing the door on you. There's your commode. There's some food. You want to lie there in your depression, then get on with it. And I think she was terribly depressed. So this wasn't just anorexia. This is a lot of mental issues, which makes me wonder about the abuse in the home. Let me just pull regarding abuse in the home, because how does a very sunny young girl who's said, from school, oh, she was lovely, she's very sunny, very lovely, always welcome new people. How does she go from that to a very depressed anorexic who is diagnosed with social anxiety, autism, Asperger's? How does that happen? Is there abuse within the home? Show me. Is there abuse within the home that triggers all of these things? Abuse within the home. Abuse within the home. Well, there's ignoring. There's ignoring, which is all of this. Yes, that's big abuse, isn't it? Being ignored, I don't care. I don't care. Just get on with it then. You want to stay in that room and you want to be a recluse. Well, Dad and I, we're going to go out and we're going to go on holiday and we're going to leave you there. And you just carry on and wallow in your whatever. Abuse in the home. Tower of the Abyss, come on. Just tell me, was there abuse in the home that triggered this situation? I don't think it was a sexual abuse. I don't feel that it was that. I just feel that it was two parents who had very strong ideas about what they wanted their daughter to be, how they wanted her to be, and she wasn't being what they wanted her to be. Seven of Cups, this would be all the options that this girl could have been, educationally, socially, what she could have been, what she could have done, all the thoughts in the head about, oh, our daughter could do this, she could do that, her friends are doing this, her friends are doing that. And for some reason, a girl who seems to have been quite sunny, suddenly at about 14, 15, is diagnosed with quite a lot of different, very complex issues. And I see this in reverse. There's no hope for her. There's no choice for her. She limited her choice to that couch in that room, very much sort of agoraphobic, don't want to go out. This is what the parents have said. I don't want to key into Lacey's energy. I really don't, because she's only just passed and, really she hasn't only just passed, but it's still too early, and I don't want to do that at the moment. I'm just using the cards to try and just pick up a general feeling about all of this around the parents. What was going on? Why would they ignore this child? Why would they let this young woman just be disregarded? There's no hope for her. There's no choices for her in life. It is like, as I say, dehumanizing her. You haven't lived up to our expectations. You want to stay there, and I keep coming up to that phrase. Well, stay there and rot. Stay there and rot. And they went out to work. There's your Pentacles card. They just went out to work. And the people at work, that they work with had no idea about this, and they worked hard. Seven of Pentacles is your hard-working card, I think she worked something to do with law. She was some kind of secretary in something to do with a prosecutor's firm, the father was something else to do with, I don't know, something to do with the Civil War, some kind of thing that promoted the Civil War, what have you. You'll know, you can tell me. But, you know, very respected, hard-working people. They went out to work every day and just left her there. Left her there. You want to stay there? You stay there. You've got your commode, you've got your DVDs, you just stay there. And time goes on and time goes on. And I'm sure that in the beginning, you know, she was able to sort herself out, to wash herself in some way, or to tend for herself in some way. But this depression, this situation just got worse and worse. And they say that for 12 years she was on that couch. Now, if you can just imagine, you know, somebody rotting, and she just rotted away. Oh, pull me a card, please, please. Tarot of the Abyss, just tell me about that situation. Just lying there rotting, from the parents' point of view. From the parents' point of view, what have we got? Seven of Wands. This is your barrier card. It is like putting up a barrier, closing the door on it. I don't want to know. You know, we're getting on with our lives. We're working, we're getting on with our lives, we're doing our things. This is just like some kind of shared psychosis, basically. You know, everything's all right, everything's fine. It's not fine, but, you know, she doesn't want to get up, she doesn't want to do it. Just shut the door on her, leave her in there. Seven of Wands, that very protective barrier card. Close the door on it. I don't want to see it. Wow. So were they, in a way, sadistically punishing her because she was extremely depressed? And I think a lot of this, I just got a horrible feeling about severe anorexia, and obviously the other mental issues that she had. She wouldn't eat, didn't want to eat, and the depression involved around this young girl. Yeah. I see this as the fighting between, not really between Lacey and her family, but between the mother and father, the bickering, the fighting, you know, in the early days about what was going on, how to handle this situation. And I think between them there was bickering and fighting about how best to handle this daughter. And then they just came to some kind of agreement that they would just let it play out. Just let her carry on. And if it got bad enough, that she'd get up. And if it got too much, you know, she'd suddenly realize how much she'd let herself go, if you like. I mean, this, how can you justify any of this away? I'm not trying to justify it. I'm just trying to see whether the tarot can give me any kind of story behind this, anything. So did they just dehumanize her? This thing, was she no longer their daughter? She was just this thing, dehumanized. The Magician. I think the Magician is very good at coming up with a narrative, coming up with a story, telling itself. The Magician tells itself a very intricate story, and everybody believes it. The Magician will say, oh, this has happened, that's happened, and everyone goes, oh, right, okay, that's fine, you know, I'm doing this over here and I'm doing that over there, and, you know, I'm going to work and doing my thing and everything's good. I go home and I've got this daughter rotting on the couch, you know, and that's the Magician in its worst aspect, you know, a double life where people don't see what the other hand's doing. Well, they certainly didn't. People that worked with Sheila and Clay, these dreadful parents, people that worked with them had no idea that Lacey even existed. Oh, for goodness sake, you know. And as I say, I thought that the reading that I did the other day was absolutely dreadful, but this, well, when the situation all kicked off in January 22, Sheila called 911 and reported that her daughter wasn't breathing. So let's have a card on that. 911, my daughter's not breathing, the Hanged One. Yeah, she's in like a total case of limbo. What do I do now? You know, this has dragged on for years, this this child of mine, I don't think she even thought of her as a child, this human, or not even a human. How can you even describe this poor woman, this poor girl? What did Sheila think of her? As I say, I think she totally dehumanized her. And she was in the hanged one then. What the hell do I do now? She's actually finally died. Well, they could have buried her. They could have done something with her because nobody knew she was there, but they didn't, did they? They just called the police. So how does that work? They call it in. Were they delusional? Did they just think that, 911, that the paramedics are going to come and say, oh, yes, well, we see this kind of thing all the time, people lying on couches for 12 years, rotting away. Yeah, oh, that's fine. Of course, she did it to herself. Yes, yeah. Is that what they thought? Temperance is the devil. Temperance in reverse is the devil. That way up, well, temperance the right way up, we would never be in this situation. As soon as this child, which she was a child at the time, said, I don't want to go out, I want to stay here on the couch, they would have got her into the proper place, got her the care, the mental care that she needed. The temperance in reverse. This is the most bizarre reaction to all of this. And I keep getting those words in my head. Stay there and rot. Well, stay there and rot. If you don't want to go out, lock the door, close the door, don't want to know about you. Let me know when you decide that you do want to get up. And that just keeps coming through to my mind. This utter disappointment in this child who's developed this, I believe, anorexia and all the mental things that go with that, plus the social anxiety, plus autism, Asperger's, all on that kind of spectrum. The total depression. The depression was never treated, was it? Let me just see, was there ever any depression being treated in this case? Was the depression treated? No, I don't believe so. I think this is Three of Pentacles. Although it's a three, this is working together, and this is the husband and the wife, this Sheila and Clay, working together, working in the home to just put on a good face, going to work every day. Here you go, working hard, going to events in the community, just hiding all this. This is like they're pulling together with the community, just pulling together and hiding this dreadful temperance in reverse, this dreadful situation at home. So the paramedics said that when they go in there, the smell of the house was appalling. It was everywhere, it leached everywhere. How on earth did they manage to live with that? How did they live with this horrendous smell and decay? How did they live with the smell and decay? Death. There you are, the smell of death. She wasn't dead. Well, she was when the paramedics arrived. She'd been dead, they reckon, for a day. But this poor girl had been basically rotting into the couch. And I'm so sorry if this kind of thing is upsetting. Of course it's upsetting, but but people can allow this to happen. She had literally, where she had defecated, where she had urinated, it had rotted the couch. The couch had molded to her body. You know how terrible a bed sore is for somebody who's in bed and they get a bed sore. Well, this was the whole of the back of her body was, just melted into the couch. Her hair was matted with maggots, lice. Words just fail me. Words fail me. Talk to me about the condition of her body. The condition of her body, the pain that this girl was in. The condition of her body. The Queen of Cups. I mean, this is the mother. This is the mother. How can a mother do this? The Queen of Cups reversed here. Emotionally unstable. Very, very unstable energy. The Queen of Cups is mentally unstable. Of course she is. How could you be a loving Queen of Cups? How could you be a very grounded, emotionally giving mother and have this situation? Of course you can't. This is total mental breakdown of the mother, not available in any way. Of course she's not. They would just go off on holiday and leave Lacey in this situation. The coroner was so distressed by all of this that he couldn't eat, he couldn't sleep, he cried for a week. Now that's a coroner. You know, they must see the most horrendous things. Show me a card about the coroner who dealt with this. The coroner, look, 4 of Swords, death. And I take it as death. I mean, that is his job, death. But he had never seen anything so repulsive, so tragic in his whole career. And the way that it affected this man. So I want to know the parents, Sheila and Clay. Was it, as I say, she just, she developed these mental issues and they didn't want to know. It was like, well, you're not our daughter. You're not what we want you to be. Oh, you want to lie there? You don't want to be treated? Lay there and rot. Really? Is that it? Is that what they said? Because that phrase is just in my head and I can't get rid of it. I can't get rid of that. I can't let it go. 10 of Swords. Your 10 of Swords, this is your utmost betrayal. This is the way those parents betrayed her. The 10 of Swords. You don't get up after a 10 of Swords. You know, you're just stabbed. You're unsupported, you're not helped out of your pit of despair. Yeah, 10 of Swords, that's what they did to her. The utter betrayal of parents to a daughter. Another card, please, for these two parents. Dehumanizing her. Did they just dehumanize her? King of Swords, there's the father. Now, how strange, we've got the Queen of Cups in reverse here as the mother. Queen of Cups is the mother in reverse. Father in reverse. King of Swords in reverse. The caregivers here, there's no care here. Hard words. This isn't my daughter. Just let it lie there. Let it lie there. Let it rot. And this is the mother. No emotional bond here. They were just waiting for her to pass away, waiting for it to happen. Let me just go right to the heart of the matter with all of this, just to the heart of the matter. Heart of the matter. Yeah. The wise one is like the Hierophant, like the good decisions in life, you know, the way that, you know, you make the right decision. Your daughter is mentally ill. Your daughter is becoming a recluse, mentally ill, has different diagnoses. If you're the wise one and you're the Hierophant, you make that decision. Yes, this needs to be handled. I will handle it now. She goes into the best facility for her and it gets sorted out. Well, no, the wise one in reverse, not wise at all. The worst decisions possible made because you can't handle it. You don't believe it. You don't believe this is happening. She's not eating. She's depressed. We'll just let her get on with it then. Let her get on with it. She won't move. Oh, she's made that decision. She's made the decision. Let her do it. 2 of Pentacles here in reverse. Drop the ball on her. Here is, you know, trying to help, trying to juggle. What can we do best for her? How can we get the money to sort this out, sort that out? I just want to help so much. I'm spinning plates. Show me what I can do. That is dropping the ball on it. Well, I can't do it anymore. Don't care. Get on with it. This is my thoughts via the tarot. I feel that this young girl, this is the way that I see this situation in my head from the tarot. She developed anorexia, social anxiety, autism, Asperger's, you know, it all came together at that very tender age, about 15. She's out exercising with dumbbells. She's obviously got some kind of phobia about eating, I believe, which, you know, it can very soon spiral into a real depression. And then obviously you've got these other diagnoses that the doctor came up with when she was 16. I think the parents, they didn't have a perfect daughter. They didn't have a daughter that was like their other friends' daughters. She wasn't she wasn't the bubbly girl. She wasn't achieving at school. They took her out of school because she wasn't achieving, you know, any good grades or anything like that. So they thought, oh well, it's embarrassing. She's not performing at school. Got her in the home. Then things get worse because she's not around people of her own generation. You know, she's not around friends. Starts getting more reclusive. She won't come out of the room. And the parents, being this sort of King of Swords in reverse and the Queen of Cups in reverse, these are two people that will get on with it. You don't want to eat, don't eat. There's a commode in the room. You want that, you have that. You just want to sit there and sulk, sit there and sulk, sit there and rot. And that's what they did. They left her to it. And they'd go away, they'd go out, they do their little breaks away. Leave her, just leave her. Because, as I said, it's a bit like the Nazis, what they did to the Jews. They dehumanized them. They were no longer human. And once somebody is no longer human and you've turned your back on them and you don't think of them as a daughter, you don't think of them as their name, as a person, you can do all kinds of terrible, terrible things to someone. And this is what I think happened. I would love to know what you think happened. I am just so appalled by this. Let me know what you think of my cards, the things that they came up with in this. We'll see what happens to the parents. I mean, obviously they're guilty of gross neglect of murder, aren't they? I mean, it's horrendous. Slow murder over 12 years. And I warn you, if you see the photographs of this and if you look into this, it is harrowing. I've said a few things, but I haven't been as graphic as some of the people who have reported this have been. Again, I am only a tarot reader. I am not a true crime reporter. So I have said this all through the eyes of the tarot and through the feelings that I'm getting off these cards. Please do your own research. Tell me what you think. And I'm going to sign off. And oh, what a dreadful, dreadful situation. These people, Sheila and Clay, well, they will be going to hell for this. I don't doubt that at all. And may Lacey Fletcher rest in peace. God rest her soul. You take care, and I will be back very soon. Bye-bye.